Hey guys, I hope you are having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to talk about the frustration of having Bruxism, or kind of just that psychological side of it. Because when we talk about Bruxism, we mostly refer to the dentist or an orthodontist or just seeing someone who will help with your teeth. But we do kind of put less stress on the psychological side of it. We just look at how expensive it is to look for a night guard or a mouth guard, or how expensive it is to look for a dentist. We don't really look at how psychologically impactful it is. And actually, most kind of conditions or diseases which may not have a cure, in quotes, end up creating a lot of frustration in your life. It can be cancer, it can be chronic pain, or just something which doesn't you don't or just some autoimmune disease which you don't feel that has a solution. It creates a lot of frustration, and what mostly happens is this frustration ends up making your life even worse. So I'm going to talk about the frustration of Bruxism and where it arises from, and I'm also going to share with you like why you need to really see or look more into the psychological side of any condition you have so that it can help you in your healing journey. So the first frustration is mostly treatment fatigue. This is where like you constantly try new remedies. You read about Bruxism, you try it out. You may try some form of therapy, some form of dental procedure, some form of surgery. You maybe try all these things, and then when these things don't meet the standards which have been described by the practitioners, you end up being frustrated and fatigued because you're like you've tried everything and nothing seems to work. You end up even feeling resentful to those people who are trying their best to help you with your condition. So you see, you tried because you thought there was a solution, but now you are disappointed because your expectations were so high, and then that problem now ends up having a psychological impact in your life to the point where you just feel so emotionally drained. And then, of course, on top of that, trying all these things has a financial burden on you, because when you try every kind of therapy, they are not free. You have to, let's say, sometimes I saw people say that some night guards, custom night guards, cost like $7,000 or something like that. So if you try something like that and then it doesn't work, you'll end up being frustrated financially, and then also all those costly dental visits. So when you all this frustration actually is happening because of a physical aspect, like visiting the dentist, and the financial aspect is mostly like a physical kind of stress. But now what happens is all these things get into your mind, all these frustrations, and then on top of that, on top of the financial burden and you being tired of trying everything, you get to the point where this habit now is now impacting your relationships, impacting your work or your social activities, because sometimes you may not go to these social activities because you are in so much pain. So you end up feeling isolated and away from others. So you end up getting a lot of psychological stress. So it all started with it being kind of a physical, let's call it a physical condition, but now it's now transferring to all areas in your life. And then now the other thing is, the moment it transfers to other areas in your life, you get more stressed. And as you know now, stress is something which triggers teeth grinding. So you end up grinding your teeth more and more. That's why this psychological side caused by the frustration you have because you have this problem is something which can be dealt with, because something about a problem in the physical space is you can have a problem in physical life, but it doesn't have to have much impact in you psychologically. That is when you have healthy coping mechanisms for your stress, or when you have healthy outlets for your stress. But because you are constantly frustrated without processing this stress, what happens to this stress or this frustration? It ends up being stored in your mind, or in kind of in the subconscious part of your mind, to the point where anytime you grind your teeth, or even anytime you see someone grinding their teeth, you get frustrated, because it's just triggering the emotions which are already there, or your mind has just associated any form of teeth grinding, or even someone who talks about teeth with frustration. That's how impactful it is. That's why if you were to get to the point where you've managed the stress, the psychological stress of this problem, or of even any chronic condition, it becomes much easier for you to maneuver, because you'll not be feeling helpless. Like, you'll be looking at it logically, in terms of, like, I've tried A, B, C, and D, and it really means that I'm giving my all. So instead of having a positive connotation of, like, it's not working, you are now giving yourself, instead of giving yourself a negative connotation that all the solutions are not working, you are now looking at the perspective of, like, at least I've crossed all these solutions from my list. Now I can look for other solutions. So when you approach a problem without much psychological stress, or without feeling frustrated or feeling helpless, you end up seeing solutions, even in a very painful situation. But when you approach it from this aspect of being helpless, you'll always feel that it's over for you. That's how frustrating it is to have a problem which you feel that you can't stop. That's why getting that kind of help to even navigate this journey, as you are looking for even the physical solutions, like a TMJ kind of a TMD kind of surgery or procedure, like having someone to guide you in the psychological stress kind of phase, will help you make better decisions. Because when you are in pain, you may make impulsive decisions because you just want to get rid of the pain. But now, when you are calm on the inside, yes, you might be feeling a bit of physical pain, but you are calm on the inside, you end up to accept more and more, and to end up to make more logical decisions. Hope that makes sense. So the frustration of your condition will end up leading you to making frustrating decisions. But when you deal with the frustration, which is now the psychological frustration of having this problem, or come to terms that your solution may be different, your solution may not really be the night guard, your solution may be something else, just come to terms that I've not found my solution, but I'm giving my all, will end up putting you in a place where you can overcome that condition. That's the importance of the psychological aspect of it. Because actually what you realize is, sometimes actually when you've exhausted all kind of physical procedures, like dental procedures, maybe the problem is psychological, because the frustration keeps building up and building up, and you know that when the frustration keeps building up, your stress goes up, and when your stress goes up, the mind picks the coping mechanism, which is the thing you're trying to stop. So sometimes when you've exhausted all these things, go to the psychological side and take a break fast. Maybe that is where the solution is. So hope you found that informative, guys. So most of your conditions, it can be migraines, neck pain. Sometimes when you've tried all the physical stuff, actually, just take a pause and try a psychological stuff, which really deals with the root cause, because maybe your mind wants to keep that condition because it's gotten used to it as your coping mechanism, or as a way for you to relieve some stress. So when your mind gets used to it, it won't really let it go, because by letting it go, it will feel that it's not protecting you, but by keeping it, it's keeping you safe. That's how twisted it is. So yes, mix all those things, but always put emphasis on the psychological side of it, so that the logical side of it can be a bit easier. Because the psychological, of course, will not help you with aligning your jaw, but it may provide you with better kind of eyes to see things more logically, and to make more rational decisions, and just to lessen the stress you are going through when you're looking for solutions. Hope you found that informative, guys. Feel free to ask me any questions and share your frustrations with Bruxism. And if you'd like my help with dealing with this kind of stress, feel free to just book a free breakthrough call with me, and we'll talk more on the impact of this problem in your mental health. Until next time, have a wonderful weekend.